do 5G cell phone towers, EMFs, and other types of radiations cause Crohn's disease? I live near Chernobyl, and I've spent lots of money, thousands of dollars, on EMF blocking products, and living out in the country avoiding these types of radiations. And I wanted to share with you my experience and how that has affected my Crohn's disease. And also I'm also going to give you some other very valuable tips and tricks to address the root cause of Crohn's disease so you can get better as fast as possible. Hi, my name is Mike the Healy Gut Guy. I healed myself 100% naturally of Crohn's disease and a bunch of other digestive issues. I've helped many other people do the same. It's actually very easy when you understand the root cause of the problem. So for a long time, I believed that EMFs, radiation, and 5G cell phone towers were irradiating my gut cells and making them break and not work correctly and giving me diarrhea. And logically, this doesn't make much sense because that radiation has to pass through the rest of my body before it gets to my gut, and the rest of my body doesn't have any health issues going on. So what's going on there? You'll see a lot of lab studies online where they'll induce like colitis and proctitis in rats by blasting their butthole with radiation. And so and the procedures that they do, it's like how they test different products on Crohn's and proctitis, colitis. So they blast the rat's butthole with radiation until it becomes super inflamed, and then they apply the treatment. So they'll put like aloe vera juice or aloe vera oil or some sort of cream and see which rats heal faster. And the problem with this lab model is there's a huge difference between injury and, I don't want to say disease, but yes, disease, but what's really happening is there's a special program running in your brain that's causing your gut to go into overdrive. Every organ has a survival purpose. And when the gut is controlled by the brainstem, the oldest part of the brain, it does not know the difference between, things that, food in our life, food in our stomach, food that we think we're about to eat. Have you ever seen a dog, all you got to do is say food and they start to salivate? That is old brainstem, lizard brain functionality here. And so when we experience something hard to digest in our life, and it's a conflict shock, our body tries to help us survive by putting a survival tool into overdrive, which is our organs. And so the purpose of our intestines is to digest and absorb things. So it's cell proliferation in the conflict active phase. For me, it was, I can't digest my crazy behavior of my girlfriend. My teacher's stupid. Oh, my parents won't let me do this. They won't let me do that. What? Like stuff like that. Indigestible anger. That is what causes Crohn's disease, because Crohn's is mainly in the small intestine. Crohn's disease, indigestible anger. So essentially, your gut issues, when these conflicts get resolved, the body no longer needs these extra gut cells and it starts to get rid of them. And that's where we get this modern medicine doesn't have an explanation for much, but in Crohn's disease you have like polyps and thickening of the cell wall. That is the cell proliferation trying to help you digest and absorb these hard to digest things in your life. And then when that gets resolved, the body gets rid of them. And that's when you get the bloody diarrhea, the pain, the cramping, and all those fun symptoms. And when you start blaming food, you're creating food phobias and stuff like that. So where does this radiation come in? Because I think people put way too much emphasis on this, and they just really create more stress, and more stress is going to create more problems for a lot of you guys. There's already enough to stress out about versus, what cell phone towers are installing in your neighborhood. This is a conversation that's been going on for a very long time. Even when we installed electrical wires, people, people were like, "Oh, it's going to fry our brains." Nikola Tesla actually wanted to make power wireless. I don't know how you would do that, but he wasn't worried about that. But I have so many friends and family. They got so many gizmos and gadgets. Everything's wireless. They got so many signals running through their body. And maybe that is stress on their body, but they're healthy. There's nothing wrong with them. The majority of your symptoms are coming from this unresolved, reoccurring, indigestible anger in your life. That's what's causing your Crohn's disease. It's not this radiation. Though the worst thing that this radiation can do is cause injury, and then the body just heals it in a couple of days. But the type of radiation that they do on these rats to induce proctitis and colitis, it's like a laser. It's like on that level. Like, I don't know if any of you guys have seen laser tattoo removal. It needs to be, the radiation needs to be like that intense in order to cause that sort of like cellular damage to cause inflammation like that. I live near Chernobyl. Everyone's relatively fine. There's animals running around Chernobyl and they're absolutely fine. They have one head instead of two. They're fine. If you went and you touch the elephant's foot, it will dissolve your tissues at the molecular level because it's so intense. But a lot of that's overhyped. I mean, we know so many people who lived in Pripyat, the city that was right next to Chernobyl, and they're fine. They have kids, they're fine, they're perfectly healthy. What causes these diseases, there's a big difference between injury and disease. Disease is mistaken for a special program caused by reoccurring stress, whereas injury is just injury and it heals. The disease is that process of cell proliferation and cell loss. So what you need to do with this video is throw away your EMF phobias, because unless you live out in the country, you're going to be bombarded by EMFs. There's no getting around it. And I've lived out in the country. I've done all these things. I didn't do anything for my digestive issues. It is unresolved indigestible anger. So, and I've helped many people do this. This is a student here who was only 3 days from getting his colon removed. You know what that means? It means you have to wear a bag of poop. You have to wear a bag of poop right here for the rest of your life. And they claim that's going to fix it. It's horrible, it's barbaric, and the worst part of all, it doesn't address the root cause of the problem. You're still going to have these emotional issues. It's probably going to cause more emotional issues. I mean, if I had a bag of shit strapped to me for the rest of my life, I'd have all sorts of emotional issues. It just makes it worse. So address the root cause with my 30-day program. It's absolutely free. I have an hour-long video that shows you exactly how to use it, and it comes with a PDF printout. It should be on the end screen right here. You can watch it right in YouTube. Watch this. And good luck healing, guys. Bye-bye.